Thank you to Alexander RHH for their generous donation on Patreon. Ooh, I didn't expect to be making this video today. Holy shit. I'm very unprepared for this. I wasn't planning on doing this until I don't know. I didn't expect to ever get to this point. It's a good thing though. You probably tell from the title, but haven't said it out loud yet. I've done it, but I haven't said what it is out loud yet. So let's just say it here and now. Hello, everyone. My name is Vivian, and I took my first dose of estrogen today. Okay. March 17th, 2020, I announced on the channel that I was changing my name to Vivian. I was not born named Vivian, obviously, and I had been discussing it for a long time before that. I had long considered my birth name to be not necessarily representative of me, and I felt the same about my gender for a few years now, but I didn't have that kind of understanding of sexual identity experimentation or understanding or what have you growing up. I didn't have that kind of societal acceptance when I was in my youth. The parts of the world where that was being socially accepted was not where I was, and it was very rarely mentioned, the idea of being transgender, and when it was mocked. And so I just sort of never questioned it. I knew something was off, bits and pieces here or there, things that make way more sense in retrospect, you know what I mean? Just looking back and being like, oh, that's why I really liked the look of dresses. Or like why I usually preferred to choose to play as a female in games where I was allowed that choice. And, just various things. Then a while back, I don't remember the exact time, I decided that I was non-binary. And it felt like it was a step in the right direction. I was hesitant to, I guess, fully transition. When I've spent so many years not understanding any of it and actively being discouraged from understanding what being transgender is, and to finally find myself in an environment where that was encouraged and welcomed, I came to understand a number of things about myself. And after many trials and errors and conversations that never went anywhere, finally the name Vivian stuck. That doesn't sound right. Stuck. Yes, that is the right word. That's an actual word. Stuck. Crime in Italy. A lot of questions came up. You chose a very feminine name, and I never really pursued an appearance of ambiguity, which a lot of the bigger examples one may see on the internet of being non-binary is tied to the idea of sexual ambiguity or androgyny. And because of that, I never really had that kind of advantage. I'm a rather large person. I'm 6'2". I am morbidly obese, which I am working on. So I don't really have a body type that lends itself to ambiguity. I have one skirt that I own. It's the only one I have, and I don't really have money to revamp my entire wardrobe, and I certainly don't have the money to go through and do document changes for name changes. I started to consider that I was a transgender female as opposed to non-binary when I really started, when I experimented with being called she as opposed to they, and I found myself enjoying it. Now it was something that was harder to get accustomed to than going from he to they, because he just never felt fucking right. They was nice and ambiguous, very neutral, very non-committal, which, you know, is correct for some and probably not for those specific reasons, but everyone has their own thing. But for me, I know I was personally just hedging my bets. And when we started with she, it felt at first a little bit disingenuous, again, because I was raised with the idea of either not knowing what transgenderness was, or whenever it was mentioned, it was mocked mercilessly. The idea of understanding it or exploring it within yourself was deemed, laughable at best, if not malicious at worst. And so it was a tough journey, but I'm at a point now where I feel comfortable with it. It feels right. It feels just way more natural and comfortable, and it feels for the first time like what I'm called Vivian, that I'm being called by my name. Not a name that was given to me, but my name. When I am called her or she, when I'm out and about and I get gendered as feminine, it feels fantastic. It's a sense of euphoria that I never would have gotten, I never did get from being called he. And now when I get misgendered, it genuinely hurts a little bit. But you just gotta kind of have to minimize how much strangers get to control your emotions, which is not easy for a very anxious person, but I'm trying. And that brings us to today, or rather it brings us to a month ago. It says right on here, October 7th, when I spoke to a doctor at Planned Parenthood, and they spoke to me about transitioning with medically transitioning. I'm not talking about a sex change operation. I don't have any intention to do that, nor do I have the funds to be able to do that as is. The only reason I'm able to afford this part of it is due to Medicaid. Government money is paying for me to transition, and because I can't afford any other part of it. I can't afford to update my wardrobe of just t-shirts and sweatpants. I don't have money to be able to legally change my name. I don't have money to do a whole bunch of things. Honestly, I just don't. I'm sorry about my laundry in the background, by the way. This is all one big room, this place I live. So everything's all next to each other. It's all we could afford. So a month ago, I get prescribed this stuff called Estradiol. Transdermal system. It is a generic version called Dottie. It's a patch. Apparently there are multiple ways you can do estrogen. I think there's pills and even injections. I don't know. I'm not a medical expert. And if you have any medical questions, I would refer you to a medical expert of some kind, a doctor. It's been over a month. It's about a month and a half. And I was scared. I was very scared. Oh, I should mention, I have another medication I'm taking with it. It's called spironolactone, where the Dottie is estrogen. This is a testosterone reducer, testosterone blocker, because the chemical balance isn't just about increasing one between estrogen and testosterone, but it's the balance between the two. One goes up, one goes up, there we go. Damn, pop shield's so large. I was scared, and I still am, honestly. There are certain side effects of taking estrogen in a chemical transition from male to female. And I got in my consultation with the doctor at Planned Parenthood, I got a consultation. I got a chart of sorts that went over some of the possible side effects. I've got a whole long ass piece of paper that came with the pills. Well, not the pills, but the patches that explain some of the side effects, and it's scary. Some of them, you know, as some of you know, I am in a relationship with a person who has the ability to carry children, and there is a possibility that in doing this, I will render myself incapable of doing so. I do have an appointment with a urologist, and I've been trying to find someone either at a LabCorp or fertility clinic or something that can do sperm count monitoring, which I would very much like to do because it really is individualized. We don't know what the exact side effects will be for me or for anybody in particular. We just know that there are examples of people who were born male, who gender transition chemically, that when taking estrogen enhancers and testosterone blockers can render them infertile on an extreme circumstance, and irreversibly at so. And that's not all cases, but it is enough of a worry that when I was given this information, it was paired with information about how to freeze sperm, preserving them. And I don't have the money for it. It's a pretty common theme in a lot of my stories is about my life is that I don't have the money for it. I really don't. And so at this point, what I'm basically planning on is, according to the sheet, in general, it takes 1 to 3 months for any effect on sperm count or all the different attributes attributed to sperm count to take a noticeable effect. And around that point, I'll have my appointment because they didn't have an appointment for months in advance. Lovely. And around that point, I hope to be able to set up either monthly or at least regular sperm count monitoring so that I can know whether or not this is making me infertile. And if we catch it early enough, maybe it will be reversible. I don't know. And I'm not going to lie, I've had more than my fair share of nightmares where I'm doing something where I'm going about my life and trying to have fun, and in my dream, people that are identified as my children wind up being hurt or killed. And I don't have any children right now, but you know, it's obviously something that's troubling me, and I've talked with Brie a lot about it. She's very supportive. She's very understanding and accommodating, even if I should become infertile. We've got plans or whatever. But the biggest, most important thing, and what she's trying to keep me to remember, and I'm trying to remember, is that my life is mine, and feeling comfortable in my own body is something that I will live with forever. And postponing it or sacrificing it or deeming it less worthy than something that has not happened, possibly may never happen, is just not worth that. So after a month and a half, I've finally picked up the box. I'm going to block the information here, but there it is. The Dottie. And the, it's just a fucking pill bottle, but the spironolactone. And I put on my first patch. I could show you. It's on one of the most unflattering parts of my body, so I won't show you much, but it's right here. There it is. It's very small, unassuming. It's just stuck right on there. Apparently, showering won't bother it. Clothing won't bother it. And I do 2 of these a week. And it's basically going to induce a second puberty, which is great because I enjoyed my first one so much. I don't know how this is going to go. I don't know if I'm going to regret this. It's very possible that I might. But what I do know is right now, this is probably one of the biggest moments of my life where I have looked at my present and decided to do something regardless of what may happen. Because those goddamn what if scenarios. What if this? What if that? What if the worst should happen? You know, they so often keep me from doing anything. But now I'm doing it. And we'll see how it goes. I'll keep you all updated. It's day 1. It will be a while before any noticeable changes happen, I believe. And I was assured by multiple doctors that it won't have a noticeable effect on my voice, so I shouldn't be rendered unable of doing any of the character voices you've come to know and tolerate. And my physical appearance should change a little bit. The fat on my body, of which there is a considerable amount, should redistribute a little bit. I don't know. I'm hoping to lose the majority of it anyway, so we'll see how that goes, especially now that I am increasing the amount of estrogen and decreasing the amount of testosterone in my body. I'm sure that my losing weight ability will just be swell. I'm very scared. I'm very scared, but I'm also very excited. And I really look forward to being able to one day look in a mirror for the first time and not feel like I'm either looking at a stranger or, in my worst moments, feeling repulsed. I haven't been able to do that. Occasionally I'll be like, oh, my hair looks okay, but then I see the rest of me and I'm like, ooh. It's sad but true. Anyway, I've gone on long enough. Today is my day 1 of estrogen. I'll try to keep you all updated if you give a shit. And who knows? Maybe one day we'll have enough money that I can get a second skirt. But until then, everyone, thank you all very much for watching. I'll talk to y'all again later. Bye, everyone.